Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. I've been looking over some of the results from the review assignments you guys have been working on, and here are some of the more common mistakes I'm seeing. So the first one, when we're comparing ionic versus covalent bonds, the first big one is ionic bonds transfer their valence electrons, and covalent bonds share pairs of valence electrons. That's VE minus. Okay, and then the second thing, ionic bonds form compounds. Ionic compounds. And covalent bonds form molecules, like a water molecule. Alright, so those are... Alright, that's the first big one. The second one... Where did I write this on? Interesting. There we go. Okay. So, the second one, when naming compounds, or naming chemical equations, chemical formulas. Okay, if I have something like CaF2, okay, the first step, I need to identify my two different elements. I have Ca and F here. All right, Ca, if I look on my periodic table, so I find calcium, it is in group number 2 and period number 4. And on my periodic table, I have that colored in as a metal. So this is a metal. And as a metal, it's going to be a cation, positively charged ion. It's going to give away electrons, valence electrons. Give away valence electrons. Our second element here, we have fluorine, F. And if I look at my periodic table for fluorine, it's in group 17 and period number 2. So it is a nonmetal. And nonmetals form anions, negatively charged ions. And those are going to take valence electrons. Fix that there. They're going to take valence electrons. So I have ions. Ions form ionic compounds. And for ionic compounds, I don't use the prefixes. So what I'm going to have for the naming of this is my first element, calcium, and then changing the ending of my second element, fluorine becomes fluoride. Okay, so the naming part isn't very difficult as long as you identify which type of materials you're working with. Alright, so the next one, let's switch colors here again. I'll do yellow. Say I have NF5. Okay, so I'm going to look at my two elements. I have N and F. So if I find N on my periodic table, it is in group 15 and period 2. It is a nonmetal. And then if I find my next element, F, which I had already found in the last question, F is also a nonmetal. So nonmetal and nonmetal, that's going to give me a covalent bond. And these ones use prefixes. And if you aren't sure what those are, I have posted the study guide for Monday. But basically, 1 is mono, 2 is di, 3 is tri, 4 is tetra, like Tetris, 5 is penta. I'm going to stop there because that's the one I need. I need 5, and I know the number's not there, but this would be a 1, right? The fact that it's listed means I have one of those. Now remember what our exceptions are. If the first element is 1, I don't use the mono. So the first one is just going to be nitrogen. And now for the second element, I have a number here, so I'm going to have to go and pull my prefix, penta, and then I'm going to change the ending of my second element. Fluorine becomes fluoride. So NF5 becomes nitrogen pentafluoride. Okay, let's do another one. Okay, so I have Br2O. So I'll go through the first steps again, identify my two elements. I have Br. Br is bromine. I look on my periodic table, and I scan through and scan through and scan through until I find bromine, element number 35. It's in group 17, period 4. So its atomic number is 35, group number is 17, and the period is, what did I say it was? 1, 2, 3, period 4. Okay, if I look on my periodic table, which I've colored in, it is one of my non-metals. So this is a non-metal. Okay, next I'm going to look at my other element, my O, which is oxygen. Scan through my periodic table, and I find oxygen at atomic number 8. It is in group number 16 and period number 2. So this one is also a non-metal. So I have a non-metal and a non-metal, which means I am working on a covalent bond. Okay, for covalent, I have to use the prefixes. So my first one, Br, has a number of 2, and 2 is di, Di. I leave the first element as it is, so that stays as bromine. So dibromine. And then, again, I don't see the number here, but I know there would be a 1 because it's listed. It is the second element, so I will be using mono. But I have to remember that other rule. When I'm using oxygen, I dropped the O, so it's just mon, and then change the ending monoxide. So Br2O would be dibromine monoxide. Monooxide would be wrong. Dibromide would be wrong. You don't change the ending of the first element. Okay, and one more. Let's do Li3N. Okay, so Li is lithium. If I scan through my periodic table, lithium is atomic number 3. In group 1, period 2, it is a metal. If I look at my next element, N is nitrogen. Nitrogen has atomic number 7. It is in group number 15, and period number 2. So this one is a non-metal. So with a metal and a non-metal, I am now going to be working with ionic. So then with ionic, it's a little bit easier because I don't have to worry about the prefixes. So the 3 doesn't mean anything for naming purposes. So I leave the first element as lithium, and I change the name of the second element nitride. Nitrogen becomes nitride. Lithium nitride. All right, hopefully that helps with some of the bigger problems I saw on the review assignments. After you guys finish your review assignments for today, I will look over everything again and make another video to help you guys for Monday. I'll also be posting a video going over the study guide. So I'll point out some things with the vocab and with the question and answer parts. Let me know if you have any questions. Have a good rest of your day.